Political language is designed to make lies sound truthful and murder respectable, and to give the appearance of solidity to pure wind. George Orwell. And this is from the WikiLeaks program called collateralmurder.com. So the reason I'm posting this video is because I work and I like to listen to things while I work, and WikiLeaks doesn't have anything like this, so I figured other people might appreciate just having something like this to listen to while they work, and then they don't have to go through the WikiLeaks files because they're not really as accessible as most major news channels are. They are kind of hard to read and sort through, and unless you have time on your hands to do that, and the will and the drive, then it just doesn't get done. So the information doesn't get out there. So this program basically is going to make it accessible to the modern worker. And hopefully I'll do that. We'll see. So this WikiLeaks says that on the morning of July 12th, 2007, two Apache helicopters used cannon fire to kill 12 people in the Iraqi suburb of New Baghdad. 2 children were wounded, and some of the men appear to have been armed. The behavior of nearly everyone was relaxed. The U.S. military claimed that all the dead were anti-Iraqi forces or insurgents. The stories of most of those who were killed are unknown, but among the dead were 2 Reuters news employees. Saeed Shamig was one, and his grieving son in this picture holds his late father. Saeed was a respected Reuters driver and assistant. He was 40 when he died and is survived by his wife and 4 kids. The other Reuters guy was Namr Noor El-Din, age 22. Came from a line of journalists, long line of journalists, and was one of the best photographers in Iraq. I can still see Namir walking out of the Reuters compound with this camera slung over his shoulder. Many of us felt Saeed was a better shield than an armored vehicle. He would always tell me that he would not hesitate to lose his life to protect one of us. Sadly, he was right. That's from a fellow photographer. The U.S. military claimed that this is in 2007, mind you. This is Obama's years. The military claimed the victims died in a battle that took place between U.S. forces and insurgents. There's no question that coalition forces were clearly engaged in combat against a hostile force. The Lieutenant Colonel, let's see what his name was again. Scott Blackwell, spokesperson for the U.S. forces in Baghdad. This is a New York Times report. Reuters demanded an investigation, and the U.S. military concluded that the actions of the soldiers and pilots were in accordance with the law of armed conflict and their rules of engagement. And what they show is conflicting to that. In August 2007, Reuters used the Freedom of Information Act to request a copy of the video, and this has not been released. Taken from the primary helicopter until now. So this is what they show in this WikiLeaks thing. WikiLeaks exists to help you safely reveal important material to the world. So we have unbroken protection record in protecting confidential sources. And then there's the WikiLeaks logo.
More that keep walking by, and one of them has a weapon. Roger, received, Target. 208. See all those people standing down there?
So this video is about to show the men. You can see them. They're just casually walking down the street. One of them has, they both have cameras, and that's what the military identified as a weapon. I guess you could easily confuse it as a weapon if your superior is telling you that it's a weapon and that they are hostile forces. However, a closer look will show clearly. If you've ever had a camera like this, you know it's a camera and it's not. You carry it like a camera. You carry it like a camera with a huge camera lens. It's a little different than how you'd carry it, a gun or a weapon.
Bandage 1-4, route 336. I don't know if that's Bushman Sullivan. Call that white 6. That's a weapon. Yeah. Hotel 26, Crazy Horse 1-8. We'll call for exchange by Charlie Mike Bravo. 237. Red white 6, Bushman 6 Romeo. Roger. Fucking break. Hotel 26, Crazy Horse 1-8. Have individuals with weapons. 4 radio. Rio Bandage 1-4, route. Yep. Individuals with weapons. 4 radio. Rio Bandage 1-4, route. Yep, he's got a weapon too. Hotel 26, Crazy Horse 1-8. Have 5 to 6 individuals with AK-47s. Request permission to engage.
Roger that. We have no personnel east of our position. So you are free to engage over.
Alright, we'll be engaging. Roger, go ahead. I can't get them now because they're behind that building.
So the military is gonna circle around to get him, and then he's basically gonna just shoot them all. I don't know if that was maybe it was a weapon. I don't know, but it looked to me like it could have been easily could have been a tripod. So, unfortunately, with a lot of those larger cameras, it does help to have a tripod. This was during this 2007 would have been Obama. So I'll forward to that part so you can hear it for yourself.
Guy with an RPG. Coming to fire. Okay, hold on. Let's come around behind buildings right now from our point of view.
At this point, you can see it's a camera, but again, if your superior is telling you it's a weapon, you're just gonna repeat what he's telling you, and that's what you're gonna go by because that's your command essentially. So somebody in the command in the upper ranks was telling these guys that the guys on the ground were hostiles and the cameras were weapons, which if you look at the video, you can see quite clearly they're cameras.
Getting ready to fire. We won't. Yeah, we got a guy shooting. Now he's behind the building. God damn it. Speed coming around.
No, he was right in front of the Brad. About there, 1 o'clock.
It's kind of killing me because you can see the guy has a camera and it's not shooting anything except footage with this camera.
Gavin, one shoot. Light them all up.
202 traffic, 260.
Come on, fire. Hey, Roger. Keep shoot. Keep shoot.
Bushmaster 2-6. We need to move time now.
Alright, we just engaged all 8 individuals. Yeah, we got 2. We're still firing. Roger. Got him.
6 is a 2-6. We'll move, but we got them.
You can see the two photographers get hit, the first one, and then the second one tries to escape, but it's pretty graphic and violent and sad, and you also want to feel for the military personnel involved who obviously had no clue what they were being involved in. You sign up to the military to defend your country, not to serve black ops operators in the deep state, but obviously it's something that happens. So hopefully they don't take it out on themselves in the long run.
I hit him.
No, they're just checking to make sure they got everybody.
I'm just trying to find targets again.
Bushmaster 6, this is Bushmaster 2-6.
All the supposed insurgents were
A bunch of bodies laying there.
essentially
Alright, we got about 8 individuals.
trying to fight the
Yeah, we got one guy
insurgents.
crawling around down there, but we definitely got some.
And then you have somebody in the Obama administration trying to make sure that these guys
Hey, you shoot, I'll talk. Hotel 26,
these
Crazy
guys
Horse
get
1-8.
taken out.
Crazy Horse 1-8, this is Hotel 26, over.
Roger, currently engaging approximately 8 individuals, KIA, RPGs, and AK-47s.
Pretty nefarious
Hotel
stuff.
26, you need to move to that location once Crazy Horse is done and get pictures, over. Jaya.
Sergeant 20 is the location. The Hotel 26, Crazy Horse 1-8.
Pretty much.
Oh yeah, look at those dead bastards.
So now WikiLeaks reports that 8 minutes after the attack, ground troops arrive on the scene. We pulled up and stopped. I could hear them over the intercom say they couldn't drive the Bradley's tanks in because they were too many bodies and didn't want to drive over them. Captain James Hall, Army Chaplain, Washington Post, reported this.
Roger, we'll be standing by here.
Over 5-2 radio.
Yes,
And now you can see the tank is going in.
Yeah, just drove over a body. Yeah.
Viper 5-2, report free chain zone 4.
Maybe there's a visual frequency. Yeah, just drove over a body.
But it's sad because quite obviously these military guys are 100% convinced. 2 soldiers find 2 wounded children in the minivan. The treating soldier eventually decides to evac the children to the medical unit at nearby U.S. base of Restamaya. However, higher command orders that the children are instead to be handed to the Iraqi police and to be taken to an Iraqi hospital. This could mean poor standards of medical treatment and additional delay. So that's sad too. They really gave him the shaft. Hey, I need to get the Brads to drop Brads. I got a wounded girl. We need to take her to Restamaya. Who do you want us to move to your location? So now they're asking him. So now WikiLeaks reports that 8 minutes after the attack, ground troops arrive on the scene. We pulled up and stopped. I could hear them over the intercom say they couldn't drive the Bradley's tanks in because they were too many bodies and didn't want to drive over them. Captain James Hall, Army Chaplain, Washington Post, reported this.
Roger, we'll be